Hey everyone, this is FaZe and welcome to my channel. If you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, then you probably know how big of a fan I am of iPads. In fact, on my channel, I talk a lot about iPads and how it is for productivity and improving your workflow. And my favorite device is the iPad Pro, especially the new M4 iPad Pro that Apple launched in early 2024. Not only has it become my favorite Apple device, it's also replaced my MacBook and I absolutely love it. And I've done numerous videos talking about how the new M4 iPad Pro has replaced my MacBook, and you can watch those videos on my channel. But first, if you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe so you can get all Apple related content, especially regarding iPads. So I love the iPad, and I think the enhancements that Apple brought to the new M4 iPad Pro have been absolutely amazing. And when I got the new iPhone 16 Pro Max, I absolutely loved it. I did a full review on it as well. And I was actually wanting a few things that came on the M4 iPad Pro to come and trickle down to the iPhone as well. And there's a reason why I think that this is a possibility, because if you look at history, it's shown that a lot of great technologies have come to the iPad first and then trickled down to the iPhone. For example, the 2020 iPad Pro gained a LiDAR scanner, and that technology then arrived on the iPhone 12 Pro later that year. Back in 2016, the 9.7-inch iPad Pro was the first to get Apple's True Tone display for improving white balance and the overall look and feel of the display based on the environment that you're in. And it wasn't until the next year when Apple brought that True Tone display to the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 10. And also, let's not forget Apple's promotion technology that dynamically adjusts the screen's refresh rate for smoother scrolling, because it was first brought to the iPad Pro in 2017 before coming on the iPhone 13 Pro in 2021. So without any further ado, let's go over those 3 new features on the M4 iPad Pro that I would like to see on future iPhones. So the first thing is regarding the form factor. I absolutely love how thin and light this new iPad Pro is. When Apple first talked about how they've made the new iPad Pro as the thinnest product ever, and they talked about how the 13-inch model is just 5.1 millimeters thin, I honestly didn't really care too much about it, because I thought, hey, at the end of the day, this is gonna live on my Magic Keyboard a lot of the times. And I mean, it's a device that I don't really care about getting thinner. But after using this device, not just on my Magic Keyboard, which also really slims down the package because this is so much thinner, but when I'm using this without the keyboard and in my hand, it's much, much easier and less cumbersome to hold than ever before. So that thin and light form factor does make a difference. And Apple made the new Apple Watch Series 10 also a lot thinner. And once again, at the time when Apple announced it, it didn't make sense for why the Apple Watch is getting thinner as well. And now I absolutely love it. I think it's the best decision for making such a device thinner, because it does make an impact since it is a wearable and you do feel it on your wrist. But you see, we carry our phones almost everywhere we go. And a lot of the times we also put a case on it, which also adds bulk to the device itself. And I feel like as these phones are getting larger and larger, I mean, this year, with the iPhone 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max, we got the biggest displays ever on an iPhone. So the phones have gotten a little larger, but they've also gotten quite a bit heftier over the years as well. So if a user like me of the iPhone 16 Pro Max, if they can have a device with that large display and yet have a drastically thinner device that's much easier to hold in your hand, it feels less cumbersome to hold in general and also in your pocket, that would be fantastic. Now, there are a lot of rumors that in 2025, Apple will introduce an all-new iPhone model that will be the slimmest iPhone we have ever seen. So clearly Apple is in this era of slimming down their devices. They did it with the new M4 iPad Pro, they did it with the Apple Watch, and clearly we're gonna get at least one model that will be drastically thinner than anything we've ever seen before when it comes to iPhones. But I don't wanna see that just with the new iPhone Air or whatever Apple ends up calling it. I wanna see Apple do that with all the iPhones in their lineup, especially the Pro and Pro Max. So another feature that I really like Apple to implement with the iPhones is bringing a nano texture glass display option to the new iPhones, just like they did with the M4 iPad Pro. Now, not all of the iPads obviously have a nano texture display, because not everybody wants it. The biggest benefit of a nano texture display is better glare reduction, because there are a lot of times where you're outside, you're filming content, and you can't even see what's on your screen because of the glare. And if Apple gives an option to get a nano texture glass display on their iPhones, I think a lot of people would like it, especially myself. The only thing I am a little nervous about is the fact that Apple would definitely charge a premium for it. And that's one thing I don't want Apple to do with what they do with the M4 iPad Pro, because if you want a nano texture glass display with the iPad Pro, you have to go for a 1 terabyte option. And that's very, very expensive, right? So you only get it with the 1 TB or 2 TB option. And I kind of wish that Apple would just make that an option for any storage option that you choose for. So hopefully Apple listens and maybe gives it just for the Pro and Pro Max users, but we'll see. And last but certainly not the least, I would really like Apple to bring the document scanner that was introduced on the new iPad Pro onto the iPhone. You see, Apple's new iPad Pro models use artificial intelligence to identify documents in the camera app and reduce shadows by snapping multiple photos at once and stitching the scan together. And the amount of scans I do on my iPhone is quite incredible, whether it's scanning receipts for work or documents that I have to send to clients. I am constantly using my iPhone as a scanner. In fact, I scan more stuff on my iPhone and airdrop it to my other devices than using my iPad. So if they can bring that document scanner with AI that's on the M4 iPad Pro and bring it to the iPhone, that would be amazing. So these three features, the thinness of the device, a nano texture glass display option, and a great document scanner with AI, these three features are fantastic, and these are three things that I have used. Now, the nano texture glass display is something that I didn't get with my iPad Pro, and if you've seen my previous videos, then you probably know how big of a fan I am of this great screen protector from ESR, which gives you that sort of an experience. But having that display obviously built in versus using a screen protector are two completely different things, right? So at the end of the day, if Apple implements these three features or gives these three things as an option in the next generation iPhones, I would be very, very happy. And I think it's doable because, like I said in the very beginning of the video, there are a lot of features that Apple introduced, right, with previous iPads that then later trickle down to other generation iPhone. And I think that Apple will bring these. But at the end of the day, I want to know your thoughts. What are certain features, not just on the iPad Pro, but other iPads in general, that you would like to see brought to the iPhone? Whatever they are, whatever your thoughts are, whatever questions you have, leave them down in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you next time.